Hello all. In this video, which is probably going to make a lot of people really annoyed with me, and I say this video, but I might end up breaking this up into some separate segments. But in this video, I'm going to tell why I, at this point, generally believe the official story of the assassination of Charlie Kirk, i.e. that Charlie Kirk was shot by one person, and that one person was Tyler Robinson, and that Tyler Robinson was motivated to shoot Charlie Kirk because he disliked his stance on LGBT stuff, him being someone who had a male boyfriend, who was transitioning into a female, and thought that Kirk was bad news, was promoting hate, as he was. This is something he was reported to have said, that Tyler Robinson was reported to have said on a few occasions, and that was the reason why he did it. Now I'm going to explain why I feel the way that I do, and once I'm done, feel free to tear me apart in the comments, or agree with me. You can also do that. So I want to start with what might seem like a non sequitur, but it's not. It's actually related. I have, as you might know, a somewhat dark sense of humor, and there have been occasions when I have found myself in proximity to famous people. And one of them was back in 2015. I was visiting New York with my mom, and we were, my mom had bought tickets to several Broadway plays, and one of them was this play. I can't remember what it was called, but it was the least good of all the ones that we saw over the period of time when we were in New York. But it was a play that in which featured Matthew Broderick. Matthew Broderick was a part of the cast of this play. All right, and I remember he took the stage, and people applauded when he just walked out on the stage, and people were like, "Oh, he's famous!" Applause. It was the first time I've ever been to a play where that has been the case, where somebody has gotten applause just on the merit of being themselves. Anyhow, what happened in the play, what the play was about, is not important. What I remember thinking at the time, because I have the twisted sense of humor that I have, is, gosh, you know what? If I'd snuck a piece in here, I could easily take him out, because we were in like the third row. He's like 20 feet away from me. This famous Hollywood actor, Matthew Broderick. And of course, I had no real inclination to do any such thing, but it just occurred to me that it could happen. And there was another occasion I remember where I was at this was several years ago. I went with my kids to the Savannah Book Festival, and it's just this homey little event where people read from their books, and sometimes they have somebody sort of famous or some author who's known show up. This time around, there was somebody who at the time, I think maybe had just retired from baseball, but who had played several years for the Atlanta Braves, and his name was Brian Jordan. You can look him up, Brian Jordan. He's just to check on my bona fides here. So Brian Jordan had written a children's book, and children's books are the easiest things to write. I'm not saying it's easy to write a good children's book, but just to write a children's book, you can just slap something down in 10 or 15 minutes. What it's really all about is finding a good illustrator. Just an observation there. So Brian Jordan had written this children's book. I don't remember what it was about. Again, it doesn't matter. And he was reading it out loud to the crowd, and we were there, and I was like, wow, there's Brian Jordan of the Atlanta Braves, big celebrity, I'm not talking about, he's not like, Mickey Mantle, or to put it in contemporary terms, Otani or Freddie Freeman. He's not like that big, but he was, a pretty good player, made millions of dollars, was famous, was well known. And now he's just a few feet in front of me. And I thought the same thing. I thought, I could easily take him out. It wouldn't be hard. And I don't really have that much experience shooting, but I could do it. And so I guess, like, after those two occasions, I thought to myself, in a way, it's miraculous that more famous people don't get shot, because there must be plenty of times where people like Matthew Broderick or Brian Jordan or whomever are out there in the public. They're not necessarily always surrounded by really tight security, and they it could happen if somebody wanted to, but fortunately that doesn't happen very much. And so this is where I'm applying these observations, these reminiscences to the Charlie Kirk assassination. Charlie Kirk was a soft target, okay? When he went on his campus tour, going from place to place, prove me wrong, just like other conservative speakers had before him, he didn't bring an entourage of security with him, and it wasn't because people out there didn't hate him, because we know quite well that Charlie Kirk had a ton of haters who were, as we found out after the shooting, who were patently homicidal in their inclinations towards him. Again, remember that whole those thousands and thousands of people who saw fit to go online, to take to social media and show their faces and reveal to us who they were, had no shame whatsoever, and laugh and jeer about how great it was that Charlie Kirk had been killed. This husband, this father of two, had been murdered in cold blood. And I wrote an article about it on my Substack page called The Demonic Left. And at the time I was leery of using the term demonic, because I think we're using that term way too promiscuously now. There was a time when people didn't use it at all, but now it seems to be used a lot. Whenever somebody behaves in a way that we find off-putting, we're tempted to call it demonic. And I don't use the term lightly, but the way those people in those videos looked, it was like they were possessed by evil. They were, well, I mean, I think if you've seen the videos, you know what I mean. It definitely did not show the best side of humanity. And yet, there were thousands of people who were living among us and who were holding down jobs and who were like in successful fields. These were not all, these weren't, bums on the street or whatever. These weren't schizophrenics. These were normal, seemingly well-adjusted people who just had let loose with this absolute torrent of homicidal glee. given that all of these people, all of these thousands of people out there felt the way they did, is it really so hard to imagine that one of them might actually have done it? That Tyler Robinson might have felt strongly enough to actually carry out the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and not only felt that strongly enough to do it, but actually did it, actually carried it out, actually committed the acts. But as far as the question of how did he pull it off? Well, again, Charlie Kirk is a soft target. It's not, repeat, not like, it's not analogous to how President Trump was almost shot in Butler, Pennsylvania, because Donald Trump had what should have been the world's best security, and they did not they did not appear to be very competent. You know, there were a ton of people who reported seeing, and there's video of this, seeing a man go up on a roof, which wasn't being, the Secret Service was not, the security was not watching this roof. They didn't have anybody up on this roof. The director or somebody later said, "Oh, we didn't go up there because it was sloped." It was not sloped. That was a complete lie. And there was somebody up there with what looked like a rifle crawling on the roof, and people saw it, and people reported it to police. That should have been it. That should have been the moment where Secret Service heard, and they immediately protected the man that they were being paid to protect, and they immediately tried to take out this person on the roof with a rifle. It should not have it should not have come to the point where he was up there for 10 minutes or so, and then actually started firing at Trump. That should never have happened, and that lends credence to what I believe to be the case, which is that it was supposed to happen, that the powers that be tried to take him out, literally tried to kill him, but that their attempt failed. Whether you want to see it as a miracle or just luck or whatever. Likewise with JFK, if you've seen the movie JFK, directed by Oliver Stone, there's a character played by Donald Sutherland who plays, it's like a composite of people who actually spoke with Jim Garrison, like high brass people who worked at the Pentagon. And he was telling Garrison, if we were really interested in protecting Kennedy, you would have felt a military presence on those streets. There wouldn't have been any open windows. Everything would have been secured, and you wouldn't have seen the car, turn onto into the final stretch onto Elm Street on Dealey Plaza, and then take the hairpin turn and then slow down to a snail's pace. That would never have happened. And again, there's a lot of stuff that really is hard to explain away with JFK, considering JFK, like Donald Trump, was a hard target. He was somebody who should have been a hard target. He was a president. He should have had the best security. He was a president of one of the two most powerful countries in the world at the time. He should have had the best protection, the best security in the world. And that did not happen, just like it didn't happen in Butler, Pennsylvania with Trump. But Trump and JFK were both hard targets. Okay, Charlie Kirk, again, was a soft target. when Charlie Kirk would roll from campus to campus, he didn't have a security team with him. It was just normal. It was par for the course. He wanted to be accessible, and nobody really thought. I mean, there hadn't been a case of a speaker, a conservative speaker, coming to a liberal campus environment who. There had never been a case of somebody like that, having their life threatened before. So people just didn't think twice about it. Okay, it wasn't. There's nothing suspicious about the absence of security at the event in Orem, Utah. So you've got this event where again. Lots of people out there in the crowd. Lots of people in that crowd do not like Charlie Kirk. In this case, one of the people up on the roof, who got up on the roof with a rifle, decided to take him out. Now, again, allegedly, we don't know for sure, but allegedly, that's the case that the authorities have made. Now, another thing is, originally there were. And I'm usually a conspiracy theorist. I'm usually on the conspiracy theorist side. I guess I've become a turncoat to the conspiracy.